Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh! I guess I can't do this. It's not a smart idea. Why am I so stupid? God, oh god, oh god. And that was my workout for today. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing my birthday book haul. If you didn't already know, my birthday was at the end of March, so these are all the lovely gifts that I've received from various fellow booktubers and friends, as well as family. And then of course, just books that I got for myself, because you know, treat yourself. The first book that I received is from one of my very favorite booktubers and friends, Missy, over at Binge Reader, and she got me Unhinged by A.G. Howard. This is the second book in the Shattered Trilogy. And I have not finished Shattered yet, but I am about halfway through, really enjoying it, and I'm planning to pick it up either this month or next month to finish it so I can start this one. So yeah, whoa. Thank you so much, Missy. I cannot wait to get started on this. The next book that I received is Prep by Curtis Sittenfeld, and I received this from Sylvia over at Wish Fulfillment. She's another wonderful booktuber. I love her videos. She's amazing. Reads such a variety of different books, and you guys should definitely check her out if you haven't. This is a book about a young girl who goes to a preparatory school, and it just follows her throughout the year. It takes you along all the thrills of her adolescence, all the ups and downs. I've actually wanted to read this book since I was about 14. That's when it came out in like 2004. So thank you so much, Sylvia. I really can't wait to get started on this. The next book that I received is a manga, and it is Attack on Titan by Hajime Ishiyama. I cannot pronounce that. I actually got this book from Adriana over at Perpetual Pages, another booktuber that I adore. This is a manga that she has talked about so much on her channel. I honestly don't really know what this story is about, and I don't really want to know, but I've heard it be compared to like a Japanese version of The Walking Dead. So that is without a doubt right up my alley. Adriana, you know me so well, soul sister. Thank you so much. The next book that I received is not a physical book. I actually got it in ebook format for my Kindle, but I will put a picture up right now. It is called Written in Red. I'm not sure who wrote it, but this is a book that booktubers have been talking about so much lately. I was generously gifted this from Mara over at A Mind for Reading, and before I go any further, I just have to say, if you have not subscribed to her channel, she is amazing. She really loves fantasy and paranormal. Those are two genres that I really love, so I love watching every single video that she does, book hauls, reviews. Please go check her out. Believe me, if you don't, you are missing out. I swears to you, you are missing out. Go check out her channel right now. But back to the book. Before I go any further, I do want to give a trigger warning because this book follows a young woman who can see the future by cutting herself. To me, it's a really ballsy concept. I think it's like a paranormal, I don't think it's dystopian. I think it's paranormal, maybe fantasy. Thank you again, Mara. I can't wait to start reading this book. It looks so fantastic, and yes. The next book that I received is a graphic novel, and it is Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. This is another graphic novel on BookTube that has been very popular lately. I got this from my sister. She knows me so well because I was going to literally buy this and gift this to myself for my birthday. People have said this is really creepy. The artwork in it, I really quite enjoy. The next few books are all books that I purchased for myself, and I'm gonna go ahead and get into those. This first graphic novel that I got for myself is called Rat Queens. This is another graphic novel that has been making the rounds on BookTube lately. It's been coined as like a female Lord of the Rings. So to me, that just sounds very magical and hilarious. So I'm definitely looking forward to picking this up. The next graphic novel that I got for myself is A Game of Thrones Volume 1. If you read the foreword by George R.R. Martin, he states clearly that this is an adaptation from his novel rather than the television show. And going into it, it was kind of weird because I imagine the characters as they are on screen. So seeing them as George R.R. Martin imagined, obviously it doesn't always match up. So that took a little getting used to, but it was still really interesting. I have actually already read this graphic novel, so I'm not going to go into detail about it right now because I'm going to talk about it in my April wrap up. You guys know by now that I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, so I felt like it was finally time to experience the story in graphic novel form because I love graphic novels, I love Game of Thrones, you know. Duh. The next book that I picked up is At Water's Edge by Sarah Gruen. Now I don't know a whole lot about this book. I actually kind of just bought it because it's Sarah Gruen's follow-up novel from Water for Elephants, which I really enjoyed. But I looked it over and it's about a young woman in the 1940s, and she has to follow her husband on kind of like an expedition to Scotland where he's been given the task to discover more about the legend behind the Loch Ness Monster. And I think between that there's like romance interwoven into it. Loch Ness Monster, Sarah Gruen, perfect match. The next book that I got for myself is Finnegan of the Rock by Melina Marchetta. This is a book that both Mara and Adriana love, and it's a book that I had never heard of until I heard them talking about it on their channel. I really don't know too much about it. If you want to let me know in the comments, please go ahead. Regardless, I'm going to be picking this up soon because I've wanted to read it ever since I heard Adriana and Mara talk about it. The next book that I got for myself is called Dreamer's Pool by Juliet Marlier. This is another book that Mara has talked about a lot on her channel, and it sounds like a really great concept. It follows this woman who's a healer, and she was deeply wronged by a member of the opposite sex, I'm guessing a lover or something along those sorts, but she makes a deal with someone to end her imprisonment. The only catch is that she has to relocate to this dark forest, and for the next 7 years she is duty bound to help anyone who needs her help whilst in the forest. This cover is pretty fantastic. It reminds me of Lyanna Stark. What? R+L=J. The next book that I purchased for myself is Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is a book I'm not going to go into detail about, but it is the third book in the Throne of Glass series. I read the first one and the second one. Wasn't crazy about the first one. Really liked the second one, so I felt like it was time to pick this one up. I do also own the bind up of all the short stories, so I don't know if I should read that before I pick this one up. If you guys have read both of them, let me know what you think and let me know what order you went in. Okay, so these last few books are all books that I purchased from the Book Depository. The first one is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This is a book that has been making the rounds on BookTube, and the moment I heard about it, I wanted to pick it up, but I of course didn't want to pick up the American edition, so you know. Like seriously, that is gorgeous. If you didn't already know, this book follows a theater troupe which consists of a group of people who are the last remaining people on Earth. It sounds really good, and Erin Morgenstern, author of The Night Circus, blurbed it. I haven't read The Night Circus, but I really want to, and I've heard great things about it from many people, so that gives me hope for this one. The next book that I picked up from the Book Depository is White Oleander by Janet Fitch. I've actually read this book before. It's one of my favorite books, but I wanted to repurchase it in this edition because I think it's just gorgeous. If you don't know, White Oleander follows a young woman named Astrid, and around the time that she is, I believe, 13 or 14, her mother murders her boyfriend, gets thrown in jail, and then Astrid is left to fend for herself in foster homes. It really is an amazing piece of work. I actually talked about this with Sylvia over at Wish Fulfillment, and she explained it perfectly and said it's basically like an epic poem. It's so beautiful and it's so sad, but it's so beautiful. I really, really want to reread this soon. The next book I got is Paint It Black, also by Janet Fitch. It follows the aftermath of the life of a woman named Josie, who is an art model, and it follows the aftermath of her boyfriend's suicide. It says, as Josie struggles to understand Michael's death to hold the world they shared, she is both attracted to and repelled by his pianist mother. Soon the two women are drawn into a twisted relationship that reflects equal parts distrust and blind need. That's kind of a messed up situation right there, but it sounds also very intriguing. I really want to read it because, like I said, loved White Oleander. The next book that I purchased is The Phantom of the Opera by Gaspard Leroux. I never took French in high school, so please don't hate me. One thing you may or may not know about me is my huge ass fangirl obsession with The Phantom of the Opera. I've been obsessed with it since I was 14 when the movie adaptation first came out with Emmy Rossum and Gerard Butler. I recently rewatched the movie for the first time in so many years, and I've been listening to the soundtrack like non-stop. Yeah, I want to read the original story, because why not? I've read enough Phantom of the Opera fan fiction. I should probably go ahead and read the original material. The next book that I picked up is The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. This is another repurchase. I saw this edition and I thought it was quite lovely. It's like one of the first books that I read something with such controversial subject matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and give a trigger warning unsettling if you guys don't know what this is about. This follows a young 12-year-old girl's story after she has been raped and murdered. It's told in a very unique artistic style, and it's told from her point of view as she watches over her loved ones as they try to figure out who her rapist and murderer was. It's one of my favorite books, and I wanted to get this edition. I think it's really pretty, and yeah, I like it. The last book that I purchased from the book depository is not really a book. It's more of a coloring book. I know what you're thinking, but as soon as you see the cover, you're gonna understand. I got myself Color Me Good, Tom Hiddleston. This is a coloring book where you color Tom Hiddleston. Like, do I need to say anything else? I don't think I need to say any more. For instance, right here it says, Tom says, let me take a selfie with you. Draw yourself in the picture beside him. So you know, draw yourself right there. And it's very stalkery. It's very unsettling, but of course, those things obviously appealed to me. So I had to get it. I love Tom Hiddleston. I love every single thing about him. I could not help myself. Legitimately could not help myself. Coming to you from the future, where I suddenly realized a book that I forgot to show you guys. Probably the most important book, actually, because it's one that I've wanted for ages and it centers around something that I'm obsessed with. So yeah. The final book that I got for my birthday is Labyrinth, or rather Jim Henson's Labyrinth, the novelization. You guys already know that I'm a huge Labyrinth fan. It was originally a book before it was turned into a movie, or maybe it was like a companion to the movie. Regardless, I wanted to buy this myself years ago, and the only thing that they had was like the mass-produced paperback version, which was fine. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I would take whatever I could get. But that book is so rare that you could only find it for like $300 on eBay, and I'm sorry, that was not happening. And then they re-released it in this lovely edition and also added on really cool like drawings that Jim Henson did, like concept art during the process of, you know, making Labyrinth, or before making Labyrinth rather. And they also put a bunch of his notes in there. I don't know, it's really cool. I can't really read the dude's handwriting, but I'm really excited to read it. And also, if any of you guys are Labyrinth fans, this was originally on Amazon, but it's been out of stock for weeks now, so I had to order it from the book depository. So I don't know if that's a sign saying like this is going quickly, I don't know, but I knew I couldn't take the risk being such a huge Labby fan, so I got it and I'm just so excited. Alright guys, so that's all for my birthday book haul. I hope that you enjoyed it. I want to go ahead and say thank you again to everyone who sent me these lovely books. It really just made my birthday so special. You guys are literally just so awesome. I adore each and every one of you. In the comments below, I would really love for you guys to let me know what are some books that you have purchased lately. Also, please let me know if you've read any of these books or if you are interested in doing so. Alright guys, so that's all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one.